Okay, so there are students who has issues with Hindi. Okay, Soumya, you said you have an issue with Hindi or English? रुक जा बेटा, बाद मेरे को नहीं आ रही. हाँ बोल बेटा.
Hello.
Hello. Surya, I saw. Just a second, beta. Surya, I saw your message. Stop sending it again and stop spamming. Yes, Soumya. Soma. Sorry.
Sir, English will be fine.
English will be fine. You don't know Hindi?
थोड़ा बहुत.
थोड़ा बहुत. You're from which state?
I am from West Bengal.
West Bengal. Okay.
Sir, we are from Andhra Pradesh. English is fine for everyone.
Ashok, your voice is not clear to me.
Sir, English is fine for everyone.
Just write it, bro. Your voice is not clear to me. I cannot. Like I guess your this mic is quite close to your mouth. Okay. English 4B3. English Hindi combined. Hindi. Okay. So there are students who are saying okay, English will be fine. I am not asking you Hindi. पवन, इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम है क्या बेटा? पवन, और एक पहले भी किसी का मैसेज आया था, ऋषिकेश. I'm not asking both language. I'm just asking, is there anyone who has issue with Hindi?
Sir, Hindi English sir दोनों combine हो तो
ठीक है पवन.
proper English.
यार
Sir, I don't know Hindi, sir.
सूर्य, I have seen that बेटा. रुक जा, थम जा. Just wait for a while. I've seen your message. I have even said that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Have some patience, बच्चा. Okay. Okay. So, Pavan, actually, whosoever have issue, is it Hindi, is it English? Like I'm gonna switch sometimes. Like like sometimes I'll be saying something in English. Mostly I'll try to go for English.
Okay.
I have to deal with English. Deal with English. ये deal with English क्या होता है भाई? Most of the time I'll try to go for English, but sometimes if I'm going with Hindi and you guys are not understand, just drop a message or say something. Like if my screen is not on this particular window, just unmute yourself and say that, or just drop a message if I'm on the screen. Okay. Okay. So basically we'll be going for English, Hindi plus English itself. If you have doubt in anything, just let me know at that point only. If I am in the middle of some topic, I'll either pause that particular topic, or I'll just give you some time for that. Okay, like I'll explain that particular topic after a while. ठीक है पवन, कोई चीज़ में अगर इंग्लिश में नहीं समझ आए तो बता देना. ऋषिकेश, सेम फॉर यू बेटा. कोई चीज़ अगर ना समझ आए तो बता देना उसी टाइम पे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
हाँ सर. Sir, there is still disturbances coming from your side.
अभी भी आ रहा है?
Yes sir. Yeah. Sir, ईयरफोन का डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है.
यार ईयरफोन से मैंने लगा ही नहीं रखे.
बैकग्राउंड डिस्टर्बेंसेस का.
बैकग्राउंड.
चेयर की आ रही है चेयर.
देख मैं बेड पे बैठा हूँ तो चेयर का कैसे आएगा?
ऐसे सेम वॉइस है सर.
पंखे की तो नहीं आ रही होगी यार, पंखा तो साइलेंट सा ही है हमारा. रुको यार एक सेकंड, ये गलत हो रहा है.
Sir, I can't hear any background.
Pardon?
I can't hear any background.
Audio setup. Wait a second. Audio setup is making a echo. How?
सर आपकी वॉइस सही आ रही है.
ऑडियो मेरा कोई डिवाइस भी कनेक्टेड नहीं है इस टाइम तो. I'll do one thing. Yes. अभी थोड़ा सा ठीक रहेगा ये. ओके चलो शुरू करते फिर. Okay, first of all, I would like you guys to answer this question for me. English and reading is sorted. One of the major tasks for the first class. So today we'll be having an introductory class, most probably. I'm not asking for your introduction, but I have given my introduction. I'll be giving you the course introduction, how we'll be proceeding with that, and a simple introduction to Python. What you can do after this can't do after this course, or what you can learn after this course specifically. Because to be very frank, after this course, it's not gonna make you job ready specifically. You have to work on your skills after this. But yes, it's a good gateway for the starting, but not I'm not saying that it's gonna make you job ready, or even the exam after that, like the Microsoft exam that you're gonna give will make you job ready. As simple as that. I'm not gonna lie to you around this thing, because sometimes you guys have different expectations from the course, and when you go to industry, that is null, it becomes null and void. So it's a basic course, and you have to work to get the basics clear first, and then you can proceed to different technologies, ML, deep learning, or web development, app development, anything. That's upon you. Where do you want to go? Okay, so just like kind of on a better, like on a truthful side, I'm telling you, alone, like as a single course, this course will be helping you for sure, but it's not gonna make you job ready. And even if it's gonna make you job ready, I don't think after spending like 5 to 6 lakhs minimum on your BTech course, you will be like dying to go for a job like that. Okay, it's kind of a harsh kind of a scenario, but it is the one. Okay, so coming back to this thing, yeah. Is there anyone who doesn't come from technical background, like management background or something, someone who's pursuing BBA or pardon?
I am pursuing BBA. I don't come from a tech background at all.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, Ambika. BBA, BCom ऐसे वाले हैं कोई? Except Ambika. BCA तो फिर भी टेक्निकल में आ ही गए, तुम आधे आधे रह गए हो रे बस. गुप्ता जी. Okay, Muskan, Lalwani, BCom. Okay. First of all, welcome to the class, Muskan, Ambika, like BCom, BCA वाले बच्चे. Can I ask you your inspiration, or why do you want to pursue a Python course, a purely technical course?
Sir, I have never been tech savvy at all, and I think this is the need of the hour.
Exactly.
So I just took the initiative to join.
So kind of you have a realistic girl. I normally get answers like, sir, I wanted to do this from a very long time. I was like, पहले क्यों नहीं किया तुमने फिर? तो
Yes.
kind of realistic girl, very good. Muskan, why are you here? Okay, like I'm not being sarcastic or I'm not making fun of you, but just like I want to know why a person who's in a management background wants to go for a technical course to compete with to get a tax. ये चीटिंग वाला आंसर है मुस्कान वैसे. तो मैं बता देता हूँ तुम लोगों को तुम्हारे वैसे क्या क्या फ़ायदा होने वाला है. Basically there are fields that are coming up these days, specifically like data science and HR, even like human resources. Like my sister is a human resource manager in a company, so I have seen their data, I have seen their working, how like those people, like my sister, she works for Microsoft, sorry, Google, and she has a team of analysts and these like programmer guys who just basically give them the data. Okay, you have this data, you have this specific data scientist and all, and they are basically highly paid sometimes, like not sometimes, always. So people who have like the management background, they are basically killing it these days if they are going for management, like technical courses also. I've seen that, like the, I know this guy, Shubroto, he's getting somewhat like 42 43 LPA CTCA, so he's getting around 3 lakhs a month. So it's quite normal, it's quite kind of, it's a rewarding field these days. So welcome to you guys, and people who are from tech background and have done any language, any programming language, और करी है तो कौन सी करी है, like if you have done any programming initially, what kind of programming, like C, what language actually, C, C++, Java, what? Guys, is there no one who has done any language yet, any programming language yet? Okay, C.
C programming, sir.
Okay, Tushar. Django, C basics. रंजन, Django तो लाइब्रेरी नहीं है. Java C. Oh, Java C, C++, JavaScript. Nice. HTML basic C, C++, C. Okay. Okay, C basics, C, C++. Okay. Okay. So let's start with Python now. Okay. So first of all, why Python language? DSA and HTML and Java, C++, CSS. DSA किसमें किया रंजन? रंजन, आपकी आवाज़ आई नहीं बेटा मेरे को.
सर,
हाँ जी, मैं कह रहा हूँ DSA कौन सी लैंग्वेज में किया है?
सर पाइथन सर.
पाइथन में डेटा साइंस कर चुके हो आप?
यस सर. एक्चुअली सर बेसिक किया है सर.
देख, थोड़ा तो बोर होने वाला है, सारी क्लास में पहले बता रहा हूँ मैं पहले ही. ठीक है, ओके, लेट इट बी देन. पार्डन. Okay, let's start. So as we know, okay, we might know also, Python is a high level language that is interpreted and general purpose programming language, having a different kind of design philosophy from the other one, other C++ or C. The basic design philosophy that is there for Python is high readability when it comes to it. Like if you are reading a code, Python developers always wanted you to understand that code. Okay, and that gives Python a different kind of edge when it comes to it, because if you can read something easily, you can even write it easily. It was developed by a guy named Guido van Rossum. ये मैंने अभी गूगल किया है because I don't remember his name, and it was It first appeared on 20th February 1991. To be very frank, I just googled this thing when it came out because I don't remember, neither do you need to do that. But specifically, why do we use Python, and there are some pros and cons that are correct like there with Python. For that we'll use this one. Okay, so Python pros and cons. Easy to read. Wait just a second. Okay. As I said, the design philosophy behind Python is easy to read, learn and write. Python is a high level programming language that has English like syntax, which makes it easier to read and understand the code. Python is really easy to pick up and learn. That's why a lot of people recommend Python to the beginners. You need less lines of code to perform a specific task that will take a while, like a lot of lines when we are coding in C, C++ or Java. Okay, first line. Any doubts? Any question like, sir, what is a high level programming language? किसी को नहीं आया वाला क्वेश्चन guys? ओके, एनीवन टेल मी व्हाट इज़ अ हाई लेवल प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, क्योंकि अगर तुम्हें डाउट नहीं है तो मेरे को क्वेश्चन नहीं है.
Like it might be used for like Python is used for machine learning, app development, and all other the heavy stuff.
Human understandable language. Sorry, Tushar, you were saying something. Sorry, मेरा ध्यान भटक गया बेटा.
Yeah.
हाँ जी.
High level programming language means it will be used for major roles in IT sector like machine learning,
नो
app
नो नो नो
development,
नो
and
नो
other heavy stuff.
नहीं 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 नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता कुछ. गलत कह रहा है थोड़ा सा. कोई नहीं. Still you tried, very good. Okay, guys, we will be एक सेकेंड. लेस नंबर ऑफ कमांड्स नहीं असरा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. तपन बोल बेटा. नहीं रहता. तपन म्यूट करके लिख दे बेटा तू. तेरे में बड़ा बोल. तपन आप लिख दो. आपका आवाज़ मतलब बैकग्राउंड में नॉइज़ बड़ा ज़्यादा आ रहा है. ओके, लेस नंबर ऑफ कमांड्स नहीं, ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं होता. ह्यूमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग जस्ट लाइक नॉर्मल इंग्लिश. नो, like you can say it like that but not as such. Okay, first of all guys, it has memory management. नहीं यार तपन, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. कुछ भी मत बोल. Okay, first of all we will be having an interactive class like throughout the course, so I really want you guys to participate in the class. गलत बोलो चलेगा. Even if you say wrong, I am okay with that. No, Ranjan. Like, yeah, obviously it is, but not what we say about a high level language. Okay, I'm okay with you saying anything. Develop computer independent program. It's a natural language. Ashok, you cannot add a question into a. Okay, it tells about mathematical notations. No, bacha.
It might be possible that it will be used in various sectors.
No, bacha, no. ऐसा नहीं है. Usage पे नहीं है. It's not about the usage. It's about how it works. Okay. So. Okay. I haven't got the answer. Closer to human language, further from machine language. तुषार ने एक बहुत अच्छा वर्ड बोला है मशीन लैंग्वेज यहाँ पे. Okay, I'll tell you. In specifically, if we talk about the computer science stream, independent of computer hardware, it has its own program ने short करवा dynamically typed programming language. No, Ranjan. Okay, have any one of you have ever worked on C++? Sorry, it's not C++, embedded C, or any microcontroller? असरा किस पे काम किया बेटा? (8051). Yeah, good. So Asra, unmute yourself, bacha. Shamshad, wait, like should I?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Asra is your first name and Shamshad is your last name, kinda.
Yeah.
Okay. Asra, 8051 में, if I have to, like, I'm not asking you to tell me the exact program, but if you remember when you were like working on 8051, what kind of commands you used to give for to add two numbers? Any idea? Like, do you remember that?
We just did the programs like changing the memory. That programs we do.
And normally even in the lab setup, how do we do that?
Like we use the command add जो register use किया है उसको add करना है बस. Add R1, R2.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
So even like this is done on a specific kind of compiler and all. If we go even back, like even back as in like even on the systems that are there, microcontrollers need a hex file from our side, hexadecimal file. We all know that the computer works on 1010 binary. Okay, after that we had a better processors that can work on hexadecimal also, decimal also, and we can like still, but we still work on systems that are basically based on binary 10. Everything in the systems goes to 10. We understand that thing. But if I'm writing a code in English or in Python or in C++, I'm normally just writing it in English only, na. I'm just using the words JKLM or something like that, whatever I'm using. So what we write, it's a high level language. What system understands, it's a low level language. Okay. So whatever the programmers write in the programs, these everything of these things are called, all of these like C, C++, Java, Pascal, Python, all of these are called high level languages. After that we have a interpretation layer or compiler layer. Compiler layer change it to a certain format and then send it to the system. Okay, we have like the high level languages, then we have the assembly languages, then we have the machine languages, and at last we have a hardware. So hardware understand machine level. Okay, assembly level and like basically what our interpreters and compiler does, they changes the system, that changes the code that we have written to a machine language. Okay, I'll try to show you no, it's not here. Just give me a second. I'll try to show you this thing, your 001. Adaptive sensor masters, no, ये वाला नहीं है. Just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find out a specific No, I don't have that. Just give me a second, I'll try to find it out because I had that somewhere. I just don't remember where it was. Okay, new folder 5. No. Okay, docs new folder 5. I hope I find that thing here. Okay, I don't think it's here. No. No, this is a Eno one. Have anyone of you had ever worked on this thing? I guess ये वाला तो नहीं है वैसे, तो Eno file है. Yeah. No, this is also that. So no, let it be. No issues. I'll try to find it and I'll show you the hex files, how hex files work. So our systems basically take different kind of files. It doesn't take the exact what we write. So other file is made up and then it goes to the system. Okay, so that's how a high level language is changed to a low level language or a machine level language. Okay, so this is why we normally prefer Python. There's a meme.
So can you repeat once?
Which part, beta?
What you are telling? Because I am not able to hear anything.
Like my voice is not clear or what?
Yeah, voice is not clear.
Okay. So I was telling you guys about the high level language. How high level language, what is the high level language specifically? So high level language is what we write as a developer, we write, and then what goes to the system is a low level language or a machine level language. Okay, then Python is a easier language to learn, no bracket, no main loops and all. You get a error for writing an extra space. This specific space is this space is called like if we have this kind of error, it's an indentation error. So for Python, not sometimes, actually indentation is a very important aspect of writing code. If I'm writing a block of code somewhere, in that case I use indentation. You'll understand it when you start coding. Okay, improve productivity. So specifically when we are talking about it and about the productivity side of the Python, we can understand one thing, like as we just said, like to do a specific task in a C++ environment or your what we call it Java environment, you have to write more lines of code as compared to your Python. Okay, so obviously we can shift what we are thinking. Like I don't have to think what I am, what like the number of lines I have to write. I can just think, okay, if I have to solve this problem, I'll be writing less code, so how I can make it better when it comes to it. Okay. And the best part about the Python language is it's increased syntax readability. Syntax is quite common, like small words like for, and the way for is written, it's damn easy. So we can more focus more upon the problem solving, as we don't have to think a lot about the syntax and all. So like the brain space is quite freed up when you are working on Python. Okay. Python is a very productive language. Due to simplicity of Python, development can focus more on problem solving. They don't need to spend too much time on understanding the syntax and the behavior of the language. You write less code and get more things done. That's what I just said. Okay. Interpreted language. Now this is very important. What is the interpreted language? Anyone know what is the interpreted language?
Means the word which we are using in this language are well noticed by us.
Yeah.
The syntax or the words which are used in this language, they are well noticed by us.
No, it's not like that. It runs the code line by line exactly. Let's say I have 10 lines of code written. Okay.
So to execute code,
Yes.
to executing a code, it is
Tushar, I can't hear you. I just heard to execute the code.
yes, sir, to execute the instructions directly without compiling the program.
Okay. Although it's not like that specifically. Actually, there are two type of things that happen. Like when we try to change a high level language to a low level language, there are two things that can happen. That normally happens. One is compilation. The other is interpretation. Compilation means we compile the whole code at once, and then we run the code. Okay, based upon our needs. It's not based upon. It actually happens like that only. We compile the code, and compilation means like my code will just like act as a whole block, and it will not run unless until everything is fine. Whereas in Python it run line by line. Like the first line will run, after that the second line, then the third line. Let's say if I have an error in sixth line, so till fifth line my code will run. After that it will fail to execute that. So we call those kind of error like we have syntax like we at that point we like I will have a error. Okay, before that my system will run fine. Okay, is it clear, guys?
But if the error is on only first line, then and all the other lines are correct, then it will run.
No, it will in that case it will just show okay what error it is showing. Line by line chal raha hai.
Okay, so it will not run for other line.
Yeah, it will not run for other line. Obviously, you cannot like it's a sequence based kind of thing. So first thing like first line will run first, like something like that. Okay, like by sequence it will run, and if I have an error in fifth or sixth line, it will run till then, and then crash. Okay.
So it is a demerit of Python, because if we are writing the code from first line to suppose 40 lines, then if we are getting mistake on first line only, then it will not run for other line if they are correct also.
It's kind of a point of view kind of thing. You are looking it as a demerit or a con. I'm looking it as a pro, like as a pros. Reason being why? Let's say I'll like explain it to you as your case only. Like the first line has a error. Okay. Now what does the first line error? Let's say I was supposed to do something and I didn't do it, so it will not run. Obviously, it will not. But if you go to the compilation, or if you talk about the compilation, in that case, if even if like line 40, if we are talking about 40 lines of code, even if the line 39 has a code, it is not running now. You have to remove all the codes at once, even only then it will work. Python, basically this thing helps a person to know where the error is specifically, and at last, like if it's running till that point, okay, let's say 40 lines, we have like error in a 6 17th or 18th line, it will run to that point, and after that it will crash. What do you think, how easy will it be for a developer to find out, okay, where the error is? It will be damn easy. Okay,
The error will be shown line by line only.
line by line, only one error is shown at one
Okay.
time. Only one error is shown at one time. Like let's say if I'm going toward like with your case, so only the error that is there on the first line will be shown, and nothing will be shown after that. Like obviously the program will not run. Once you rectify that, after that the second line will be there. Okay, Python is an interpreted language, which means the Python directly executes the code line by line. In case of any error, it stops the further execution and report back the error. Python shows only one error even if the program has multiple error. This makes the debugging easier. Debugging is a process of removing errors from the code. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt? Dynamically typed. So dynamically typed, if you have done anything in C, C++, in that case, if you are creating a variable or creating a small variable, you need to tell the system what kind of what do we say, what kind of variable it is it an integer, is it a character, is it a float? In Python you don't have to do it. Okay, so Python doesn't know the type of variable until we run the code. It automatically assigns the type during the execution. The program doesn't need to worry about declaring the variable and their data types. So those 3-4 lines that is there when we work upon C or C++, int a, int b, int c, that has been removed. You can just write a is equal to this, b equal to this, c equal to this. Okay, when you try to define a constant in Python, we don't do it here. You cannot compare float and int in C++ or any type of. In Python, variable is a variable. You can compare a float and int, and the output will always be in float in that case. Okay, free and open source. Anyone know what open source means?
यस सर.
What?
सर एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम जिसको बहुत सारे लोग, मतलब जैसे मैंने कोई डेवलप किया, अगर उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो उसको कोई और जो डेवलपर है जिस साइट पे वो डाला है, वो उसको भी उसमें कोई चेंजेस लाने हैं वो कर सकते हैं. वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट होता है ना, उसमें हमारे को कोई भी मतलब पैसे नहीं देने होते हैं या कुछ होता है.
It actually runs on a philosophy of human knowledge belongs to humans. Okay, there are a lot of people working in that, like, but there are obviously like the people who are working on like making money out of it. Okay, and at last, like, everyone has the same goal. Like, even if you are a BTech student or something, for 4 years you'll work on open source and you'll be like, open source, yes, nice thing, and you are basically working on open source to get more and more experience, and after that get into a company like Microsoft, Google, something like that. Quite normal. Like, okay, and at last, okay, you have to pay your bills, so no one is there to judge you or something like over that. So open source communities basically believe in a human knowledge belongs to human concept. So what does open source means? Let's say I developed something quite cool. So I have two options in that. Either I can monetize that and earn a lot of money, or I can start selling it. Sorry, start giving it for free. For example, I'll just give you a small example. Raspberry Pi सुना है? Have you guys heard
Yes,
of
sir.
Raspberry Pi?
Yes, sir.
Linux.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have two operating system. One is Linux and the other is Windows. Windows is a monetized product. Okay. You have to pay somewhat like 6-7,000 rupees for a Windows easily. Whereas Linux is a free software, free operating system. Okay, which means like let's say if I have to make a copy of a Linux for myself that only I will be using, I can do that. Same happens for Python. Okay, you can see like for IDLE, for interpreters and all, we have a IDLE, we also have a interpreter. Sorry, we also have a PyCharm kind of thing. So whenever we are working on something open source, we just have to like what we just have to download it and use it for ourselves, as simple as that. So it's a free and open source platform. Open source also means like everyone is invited to work upon that. Obviously you there's a moderator, there's always a moderator people that, like let's say they don't allow you to change anything on their main root versions and all. You can download it and work upon your own versions of Python. They don't care about that, but the root that is there, they don't allow anyone to add something to that. Anything you do, there's a moderator, there's a reviewer, and if they pass it, then only it goes over there. Okay, so that is something open source. Okay, any doubts, guys? Any doubt, guys?
No, sir.
You can read this one. Python comes under a OSI approved open source license. This makes it free to use and distribute. You can download the source code, modify it, and even distribute your own versions of Python. This is useful for organizations that want to modify some specific behaviors and use their versions for development. A lot of companies does that. Example, like as I was telling you guys, for Raspberry Pi, this thing, Linux being a open source operating system. So there's an operating system for Raspberry Pi called Raspbian. Okay, and it is based upon Linux only, but as Linux is open source, so they just have downloaded it and created their own version of Linux. So for open source also gives you a option for this. Vast library support. So as someone was saying that, okay, so it's quite highly used, and like a lot of different people, different organizations, different even different professional people are using it. Why? So one of the main reasons for that is having a vast library support, which means for everything you wanna do or anything you wanna do, you have a library support for the same. And it actually range out from using it into the control systems to using it for AI based something. Like you have AI based library also. We also have a library that basically calculates a non-differential equations also, Kasadi, it known as Kasadi. So quite wide range of libraries is there. As of now there are around 3.5 lakh libraries. 294,000 libraries was there, I guess last 2 years back. I'll just find how many libraries are there. So PyPy is the Python index. As of now, there are 3,89,688 libraries that are out there to have, like, to be worked upon. Okay. So we have a very vast library support. Also portability. If I change the platform of the code, that is like the code on which the code is running, sometimes we have in C or C++, we might have to change the code to run it on the different platform. Whereas for Python, it doesn't, it is not like that. You can use the same code anywhere, and it is basically system independent. Okay. Some cons about Python: slow speed, because it's an like a dynamically typed language, and due to a lot of reasons, it's somewhat slow when it comes to real-time execution. So this thing is like C or C++ is there in a lot of real world systems, but Python is not there in a lot of real world applications. Okay, we can have system based things, but not as compared to the C++ or C. Okay. Interpreted language and dynamically typed language, the line by line execution often leads to a slow execution, and the dynamically type nature is also responsible for the slow speed of Python, because it has extra work while executing the code. Okay. Python is not used for purpose where speed is important aspect of the project. Just a second, guys. Okay. Not memory efficient. Yes, Python is not that much that memory efficient. If you are doing the same thing on C or C++, the code output will be around somewhat in bytes, maximum 1 KB. Python file normally ranges from like minimum to 5 KBs, so memory efficiency is not that much. Also the RAM, the usage efficiency, RAM efficiency is also not that much. Okay. To provide simplicity, of Python has to do little trade-off. Use a large amount of memory. This can be disadvantage by building an application when we prefer memory optimization. Okay. Weak in mobile computing. Yes. Like if you even know, like the mobile computing, like your applications normally work on Java. Okay, so that's why like that's the reason behind that. Your Python is not that good with mobile computing, because the memory side is low, and apparently the Python is not that memory efficient, as we just discussed. Database access is not that good when it comes, like when we compare it to with the SQL and the other database based languages that are there. Okay. JBDC and ODBC is not uh, like even close to Python. They are way ahead when it comes to database access. Okay. PHP and all. Runtime errors. Yes, we do have runtime errors, like because as I said, it's an interpreted language, so whenever there's an error, we can like in which is in a, let's say if we have a specific error in a 21st or 30th line, or in a 49 code, so error will have, like the execution of the code will start, and then we'll have errors. So that kind of errors are called runtime errors. As we know, the Python is dynamically typed, so the data type of variable can change anytime. A variable containing integer number may hold a string in future, which can lead to a runtime error. Therefore, Python programmer need to perform thorough testing of the applications. Okay. When you mistype object.field instead of object.field1, C++ will not compile it. Python will be like, okay, that might be right, and we will have the error later. JavaScript will be like, okay, I don't even care type thing. Okay, my Python you sometimes will be like this, and sometimes even for the execution side I'm like that. Like I need to literally find like where the dot is there, where I have made an error. Okay, when you switch to from C++ to Python, pointers are gone, main is gone, the speed is obviously gone, colon is gone, your plus plus sign is gone, and your mainly your brackets are gone. Apparently these brackets are there in the your dictionary, so no, we cannot say that these brackets are also gone. Now comes the main part. Why you guys are here, jobs in Python. So we have Python developers, we have research analysts, we have data scientists, data analysts, software developers, and at last DevOps engineers. So Python developers are those people who create new functions, new additions to the any given software. Research analysts are those people who work on some different kind of technology, but they use Python for their own data analysis and all. Data scientist, as you know, like let's say someone is trying to get new data out of the user, and getting some inference based upon that. Data analysts are the people who get the inference and manage the data that is given by data scientists to them. Software developers, you know, people who develop softwares and basically who uses the function that Python developers make in a good packing. DevOps engineer are developer operation engineers. Those are people basically they come little from the operations background, and they come from the development background also. So let's say if we are talking about something that is very dynamic, like the companies that we are kind of we have these days that are like continuously developing for those kind of operations, we have DevOps engineers. Okay, any doubts guys? Any doubt guys? ओके असराज ओके सो नोट्स व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में शेयर कर दें सर। कौन से नोट्स बेटा? ये वाली स्लाइड्स? Ranjan, I'll share it on the Google Classroom. Okay, I will be making the Google Classroom most probably by tomorrow, as soon as I get the verified list from Remarkable guys. So I'll add it there only. Okay. Okay. Research analyst and data analyst difference. Good question. So Asra, research analysts are basically people. Let's say I have a. Okay, I'll actually show you some data. Schools.csv. In the last batch, we were working on this specific data. So this is the data of Department of Education, like the number of schools in your Kerala, like Karnataka, sorry. Okay, so let's say first thing is how to get that data. That is the job of your data scientist. Guys, just give me a second, I need to take this call. Sorry. Okay, we were talking about research analyst and data analyst. So let's say I want to get some insight about the data that like the number of schools that are there in Karnataka. So I can ask a data analyst. In that case, they'll be like, okay, you have like statically these number of schools in the given area, you need a school in this specific area and all. Okay, after that this data will go to a research analyst guy, and the research analyst guy will be basically like, okay, we have this specific data from research analyst, sorry, data analyst. We have these assets, we can have this much amount for this thing, and then they basically decide where to go for it. So all in all, although the example was not that good, all in all, if we talk about it, so your data analysts are the guys specifically working on statistics and mathematics. Okay, whereas research analysts are the people who also have this knowledge about the assets and the securities that a company have, and based upon that they create their own I should say perspectives and all. Okay. Is it clear, बच्चा? पवन, क्या चीज़ समझ नहीं आई यार? पवन, ऐसा है क्या, कुछ कोई चीज़ समझ नहीं आई है?
जी सर, आपने सर जी अभी डेटा एनालिटिक्स के बारे में बताया सर।
हाँ जी, समझ नहीं आया क्या बोला पार्ट?
सर वो टोटली इंग्लिश में था ना सर, तो
अरे पूछ लिया कर बेटा, साथ में पूछ लिया कर, रुकेगा तो प्रॉब्लम में रहेगा। देखो डेटा एनालिस्ट वाले लोग जो होते हैं ना, बेसिकली वो लोग डेटा को लिया, इंसाइट किया उसका और बोल दिया ठीक है यार, देन देयर लाइक जैसे शेयर मार्केट थोड़ा सा खेलते हैं, चलो शेयर मार्केट की तरफ समझाता हूँ। चलो शेयर्स का डेटा लिया, ये चीज़ सोची कि शायद ये ऊपर बढ़ेगा, कम होएगा, ज़्यादा होएगा, उस हिसाब से उसने डेटा एनालिस्ट ये बोलेगा कि हाँ यार ये शायद ऊपर बढ़ सकता है बेस्ड अपॉन द डेटा कि वो प्रीवियस डेटा क्या है। रिसर्च एनालिस्ट जो होगा इस केस में वो देखेगा कि भाई जो कंपनी है उसके पास एसेट कैसे हैं, उसके पास सिक्योरिटीज़ कौन सी हैं, और उसके हिसाब से वो एक आउटपुट देगा कि हाँ ये वाला इसलिए बढ़ेगा, कि ये नहीं कि पुराना डेटा क्या है, ये वाला इसलिए बढ़ सकता है कि इसके पास ये चीज़ें अभी हैं प्रेजेंट में। सो डेटा एनालिस्ट ऑल इन ऑल, इफ आई हैव टू कंक्लूड दिस थिंग, तो ऐसा है कि ऐसे डेटा एनालिस्ट पुराने डेटा को उठा के देखते हैं, वेराज जो रिसर्च एनालिस्ट होते हैं वो लोग अभी प्रेजेंट का जो डेटा है कि उनके पास क्या क्या है उसके हिसाब से आउटपुट देते हैं, लेते हैं हम दोनों से है नॉर्मली आउटपुट, और उसके हिसाब से हम लोग अपना खेलते हैं। ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर गाइस? म्यूट कर दे बेटा पवन खुद को। एनी मोर डाउट्स? Any more doubts, guys? Okay. पाई पाई वाला हो गया था, ठीक है. Now I'll give you a small brief introduction about the ideally. So this is a command shell. Okay, in this, if we are writing something, we are writing in a command type format. Only one line will be processed at a time. So let's say x is equal to 35 plus 5. Okay, so if I write print x here, okay, get it? Like how do we write? So if I want to write it in a script based format, so for that we have to go here, file, new file, and we will be writing the same code here. We will be writing it at, like we'll be running it at once. Print x, output will be the same. Okay, so this is the command side and this is the script side. Over here we can write just like one command at a time. Over here we can write multiple commands and then run it at once. So this is a group of commands, whereas this is a single command system. Okay, is it clear, guys? This is how we work upon ideally. Give you a brief introduction about ideally also a little. We can format, run, view options. If you want to configure ideally, we have this option. We can even change the what we call it, the font that is there for this. We can even change the indentation space, highlights, how do we highlight it, like the colors that are there for ideally, like functions are normally done, the keywords are there in orange color, so we can even change that thing. Keys we can change, general everything about Python we can change, or like ideally we can change specifically, as ideally is also an open source system, so it almost give the what do we call it, just a second, yeah, it's almost give it to you the option of like manipulating a lot of things. It being an open source system, it gives you options like that also. Okay,
So why we are using this both command shell?
boot the
Why we are using these both command shells for Python?
okay, normally we will be coding in that script side only, beta. This will only be shown when we are like checking for an output. Our output is shown over here only. This is a shell. Okay, that's a script writer, something like you can say. It's normally called ideally, but we normally write our script over there. Okay. So how to open the script side? Go over there, file, new file. You can even open the recent files, like for me that was E8. So So I open this file.
Means we write whole command in this new file.
We write the code,
Then
yeah, we write the
after
code here, and then we just see the output there. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear, guys? Okay. ओके, क्या रन कैसे होता है बेटा? हाउ इट इज़ रन? ओके, कमेंट में पर दोबारा खोलता हूँ हमारी फाइल। ठीक है, ये है, यहाँ पे रन का ऑप्शन आ रहा है, रन मॉड्यूल, वो हो गया रन। स्क्रिप्ट रन ऐसे कराते हैं, बाकी आप कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट से भी करा सकते हो। लाइक मेरा अभी जैसे वो e8.py है ना, तो टर्मिनल पाइथन e8.py ऐसे आप अपना cmd से आप भी करा सकते हो। यहाँ पे देखो आउटपुट आ गया 8। कैन वी यूज विंग 101 टू कोड? Vidhi, I don't know specifically what Wing 101 is. I'll just check. Wing Python ideally, yes, no issues. But I'll be using the ideally only because I have to go with the standard that are there. Vidhi, you can use Wing 101. Okay. So that's it for today. Any questions, apart from the what we have done? That was your introductory class. From tomorrow be prepared at least to sit like till 9:45 or 9:50. Okay, tomorrow we'll be starting with the programming side, like basic programmings and tools that we use for the programming. Okay, so make sure to have at least a copy and pencil in front of you tomorrow. Okay, is it clear, guys? So what is the course content? Okay, you guys haven't had course content. I guess I might have it here only. I can show it to you. BYT.
So I had a question.
Yeah, just give me a second, beta. Okay, Astra, I don't have the Python TOC for your Microsoft exam. This thing, but this thing is somewhat related to that only. Actually, it's the same. I just copied it. Yeah, here it is. So Python overview, basics of programming. We have done this one today. Tomorrow we'll be starting with basics of programming, flowcharts, algorithms specifically. Then we'll be going for program structures in the Python, identifiers and all. Then your data objects, types, and then string list tuples, functions in Python, flowchart statements, advanced operations in this, the working of with advanced operations, sorting and handling of these operations, exception handling, file handling, and modules in Python. And at last the oops part and your okay, database and classes and method, and then the somewhat into the data science. I'll try to find सर रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो देखें. क्या बोल रहा है ऋषिकेश?
सर रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो किधर देखें?
अभी जब वो आज अपलोड तो हो सकती है, बट आई विल बी अपलोडिंग इट टुमारो एज सुन एज आई गेट अ लिस्ट फ्रॉम रिमार्क्स के गाइस. एक्चुअली मेरे पास अभी तक मेल्स की लिस्ट ना, वो जो तुम लोगों ने भरे थे वो तो आ गए थे, लेकिन मेरे पास जो एक वेरीफाई होके आती है ना वो नहीं आई है. तो एक बार वेरीफाई होके आ जाएगी फिर तुम सबको मैं इनवाइट भेज दूंगा इसके गूगल ड्राइव पे एक फोल्डर के, तो आपको वहाँ मिल जाएगी. तो वो कल तक होएगा. ठीक है. सेंड इन व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप सर. व्हाट पवन कुमार रेड्डी? Tapan and Bhargav, Sai, Aryan will be working on different aspects of the Python, but for the project side, I'll be giving you the options. You guys will be working on the project side by side on your own. I'll be just helping you with those. As per the class, will not be working on one project. So I'll be giving you the options. I'll send you the list of projects. You can even go for some project that you want to work on, or you can just take some ideas from there, and you will be working on that options both on those projects. I will be just helping you on that. Okay. Basically, after the completion of the course, in like 10 days after the completion of the course, you have to submit a project. So you have to work on a project. Do we have any attendance in the course duration? There's no attendance criteria as such, but a lot of things depend upon people, like if people are there in the regular classes or not. Send in WhatsApp group sir. What midday Pavan Kumar Reddy? What do I need to send on WhatsApp group? Course content तो वो क्या बता दिया. PPT send sir. Pavan, I'll be adding it into the classroom as soon as I get the verified list of students tomorrow, so you can access it from there only.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you change the timing?
Bacha no. Okay, any more doubts guys? Any other questions or any? What certificate do we get after the complete the course? Arihant, have you chosen for that Microsoft exam? No sir. So you'll be getting a certificate for remark skills itself, and I guess an internship letter. I'm not sure around that. You need to ask someone in the group who has that remark skill photo.
So can we leave?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
can we pass the Microsoft exam if we attend this course? Asra for sure. Like till now in my 19 batches, like you guys are my 19th batch, only one guy was there who wasn't able to complete the course, complete the exam. That's also because like he was having fever while he was giving the exam. Yes, Aryan, you can lead the meeting.
Sir, if we clear Microsoft exam, then it will be beneficial to any firm to join.
देख यार तुषार, मैंने ना देख शुरू में बोल दिया था देख. As of now, if you go to the market, believe me, competition is damn high. You need to work on something else also after that. एक बेसिक पाइथन के, इवन अगर वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का भी है, अरिहंत आई गेस you can need to ask these guys, remark skill guys. I guess you can, you have to pay I guess 500 rupees extra for the same. I'm not sure about the amount, ask them once. तुषार देख, सिंपल सी बात है, the kind of technology that is there these days, if you're having a basic Python course certificate, वो बहुत ज़्यादा तो नहीं ऐड करता है, लेकिन हाँ कुछ ऐड करता है, और डिपेंड करता है आप किस टाइप के रोल के लिए जा रहे हो. अगर आप एक ऐसे रोल के लिए जा रहे हो जहाँ पे आपको बहुत छोटे छोटे से कोर्सेज, मतलब बहुत छोटे छोटे से काम करने, तब शायद वो चीज़ काम करे भी. एकदम नेगेटिव नहीं हो सकता, बट हाँ अगर आप एक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट रोल के लिए जा रहे हो तो वो नहीं काम करेगा, उस चीज़ की मैं पक्का कह सकता हूँ.
Suppose I want to join Microsoft only, then I have to learn.
You have to initially you have to learn one language, 1 or 2 languages. You have to work on your data science and algorithm part. After that you need to have a lot of coding experience to crack that interview.
Okay, actually I am from mechanical background and I have an experience of three years in business operations.
Okay.
Like Salesforce, Lightning and all.
Pardon?
Yeah, so it will be added.
Yeah, it
I have
will
an
be.
experience of nearly 3 years in IT sector.
Okay. Yeah, it will be
Hello?
added advantage. Yeah, it will be added advantage for you. But you need to have more than just a basic course. You can start from here, but you have to work a lot after that.
From technical domain. Yeah.
What?
Okay. So basically, I am from mechanical domain. I am having an experience in business operation, like in Source Lightning, incident management and support.
No, that's good. That's what I am saying now.
So it will be added.
Yeah, it will be added for sure. It will be added, but again, it depends what kind of role you are going into. If you're going for a software role in Microsoft, no. To be very frank, just with this course, no. If for a management role you are going, yes, it might be helpful.
Suppose I want to go in. Suppose I go for the analyst role in Microsoft and
even then, I don't think so. Basic Python course will be enough. Okay guys, good night guys.